spoons tonight. I will show you this right here. This is what I'll be doing. Just kind of a chill night. Hang out. That's it. Cheers. Happy Sunday, y'all. It is February 1st, 2026. I can't even not even believe it's February 1st. But hey, February 1st. Let's get this week started right, I guess. I'm going to be burning that midnight oil for a little bit. Varnishing one of these spoons. Alright, let's get into it. And thanks for coming along, guys. I do appreciate it very much. While we're at it, let's get that brightness turned up. Brightness, there we go, all the way up. Get that, there we go, get that turned off. Okay, alright, we're doing pretty good. Alright, cool. So, this is my varnish brush, and for a varnish brush, for water-based at least, it's good to use some kind of like a poly brush. And this brush, let me get my headphones up. By the way, I use JBL Live Free, and oh, my other one's not even done right. But I use JBL Live Free. They're not cheap, I'll be honest, but they're my favorite I've ever used. They're a lot of fun, and yeah, no, I actually am a fan of having these. So let's get this started. It'll take a second to get everything up and running, because like a nerd, I was not ready, because I'm a nerd, and that's the way I roll. It's never going to change until I get an assistant. And I don't know when that day will be. Alright, so I'm going to need to do some light sanding on this before I even do any kind of varnishing. So, let's get that going. And because I'm going to be varnishing it, I really only need to do like a really high grit sanding. So like I could get away with like a 320 to like 400 grit. So that's just what I'm going to hit it with, just a really light sanding, just like really light. And all this does is this just takes down like those little high points and like the little pieces in there where it needs to be smoothed out. That's where this actually like comes into play. What I can say is about this cold snap I've been in Detroit, it's calming down. Thank God. It has been so cold here. And like we get cold, don't get me wrong. We don't normally have like snaps at this variety that we've had where I live. Detroit is in southeast Michigan and not northern Michigan where they get like brutally cold. And yeah, it's been bad. But I was able to have a cigar today. I was able to have a cigar yesterday. And to be completely honest, it's been really nice. And yeah, it's one of them things where you have one of them things you're just into and you're able to partake. That was one of them things I was able to partake in. It made my day a lot better. Actually, I had one tonight even. I had one earlier today, I had one tonight. I got my garbage out on time this time. I missed it last week. I even got garbage out I've been needing to get out for the past, I don't know, 3 weeks. So that's pretty cool too. And got some pictures of the full moon. It's a really cool full moon out there tonight if you guys get a chance wherever you are to see a full moon. I love seeing them. Every moon has a name. Do I know what this one's called? Nah. But it's a lot of fun to figure out about the full moons, solstices, equinoxes, and also to the Celts out there, or those that celebrate it, happy Imbolc. Actually, it ended earlier, but hey, it is what it is. Happy Imbolc, happy St. Bridget's Day. Cheers. And then we got over here on YouTube, Acoustic Monk 81. What are you doing, Unk? What's an Unk? I am working, actually, hang on, I'll show you. I'm working on a battle spoon. This is a little over 5 feet tall, and I am bouncing it off my ductwork right now in my basement. But I'm sanding it. I'm giving it just a real nice sanding at like a high grit, and then I'll be going over it with some varnish for coat number 2. I'll put 3 coats on this in total. Oh, there we go. This side's better. It'll be 3 coats in total. And this should be very thoroughly waterproofed for the upcoming Renaissance Festival season. And the girl that I'm making this for, she's super rad, and she's the one who introduced me to it, so I'm super excited to make something like this for her. Truthfully, it's actually, to me, super exciting. But no, I'm really excited to be making something so cool for her. And yeah, it's why you need it. No, it's all right, hang on, so I'll show you. If I can. So, I'm 5 feet 3 inches. And this is just a smidgen taller than I am. And it's a battle spoon. Like, what do you need a battle spoon for? It's literally as simple as, like, you can't have weapons at the Renaissance Festival So they found a really cute and fun way to do it with these gigantic spoons. They're not always this big, by the way. This is like a little like battle staff. Um, but a lot of them will have like short ones. They'll have like in their belt, and they'll like pull them out, and they'll duel each other. It's freaking cool. Alright, and then, well, nice. How many coats you gonna hang from it? How many coats am I gonna hang from it? You know what? This will actually be hanging at least one coat at minimum. That was pretty cute. I ain't even gonna lie. And then on YouTube, Miss Tone says, "How was your day?" But how was your day? My day was good. My day was actually really quite good. I was able to have a cigar. The winter was not completely horrible. It's been really awful where I live. I'm in Detroit, and we have had a very icy past couple of weeks. It's not been fun, but today I was able to have a couple cigars. I was able to yesterday go cut some walking sticks for the upcoming 2026-2027 season. They'll be ready closer to probably Christmas, or even probably St. Patrick's Day next year, because it takes a good 1 to 3 years, depending on the species of wood, for sticks to cure. So, yep, that's where I am at. Let me get one of my microfibers out and wipe this off. And my basement's not that deep, so I'll be knocking things around for a while. I think my basement's like 6.5 feet deep, something like that. It's a Michigan basement, as they call it. All right, and then Miss Tony says, "That's horrible for your winter." You know, actually, yes and no. I'm really excited to have a proper winter again, to be completely honest. We have not had a proper winter in Detroit in a while, and what I mean by proper winter is not like a few days of cold, but like the snow gets a chance to actually like sit around for an extended period of time. And for me, it's been really cool to get out there. Like tonight I was out there taking pictures of the full moon, and it's been cool to see, like, I'm taking pictures of the sidewalks, because I live in like a suburban kind of area, and I can see like the sidewalks, like with the banks where they like shovel the snow, and I haven't seen that in so long. And for me, that's been honestly really exciting. Okay, so, all right. Oh, this thing feels really good. This is actually, this one, wait, oh, something fell over here. This is made out of white oak, though. You might not realize it, but this is actually a stick made out of white oak. And I'll show you another one in a second, where I move these things. There we go. Actually, where's my other one? Oh, it's on the other side of the house. I'll get that a little bit. Oh, it's over here. I gotta bring it over here anyway, so I'll show you. Let me set this up to get polyed real quick. I'll grab the other one and show you. So this is actually the other one right here, and equally as tall. Well, actually, maybe an inch shorter. But no, this one's made out of pine, and they're actually stained with the same color. It's a Wellington brown. Actually, it's a stain I got from Lowe's. And this one, though, the difference on this one versus the other one is this one has something called Shisukiban, which is a Japanese scorching method. You can see a little bit, it's kind of hard to tell, but it shades from like brown to like black. And the black is a way to keep bugs and stuff basically off it. Actually, that bottom is tough, because it's hard to tell, but like I got a couple of knots at the bottom of this. This is actually made out of what they call dimensional lumber from like Lowe's. And it's very sappy, it's very knotty. Pine's very sappy and knotty, but this is my first time working with it in that regard. And yeah, it's proven to be challenged. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a heck of a learning process, don't get me wrong. And actually this one was made entirely with a spoon gouge, with very little from a mechanical advantage, I guess you could say, which was my Dremel tool. So I'm going to be actually going over this one after I varnish that one. I'm going to be doing some sanding on this one. But this is one of the ones I have made. Actually, I'm going to set you back here at my weight bench. There we go. All right, it's set. Okay, let me get my varnish out. Hey, Miss Tony says, "Well, I hope you get a proper winter." We got a proper winter right now, to be completely honest. It's legitimately proper. Hey, my phone just glitched on the other side. No, it's proper. I think it's like 15 degrees out there. We probably got, I don't know, close to 10 inches of snow, I'd say. and we haven't had that. We actually haven't had that in years. Not just like hanging around. And for me, it's been pretty exciting, to be completely honest. Okay, come on. All right, and my whole TikTok shut down. I don't know why, and I don't know what it's doing now. And then it decided to play funny games. Okay, there we go. All right, we're good. All right, but no, we have had winter, and a couple of years ago, where actually I think it was last year and the year before, where it just it never you never got a chance to like climatize. It would get to that point where you'd start climatizing and then it'd warm back up, and then you get to the point of climatizing, then it warm back up. And luckily, right now we are having like one solid temperature, and that's been pretty freaking awesome, to put it lightly. Okay, now where is my brush that I had? I'm starting to lose my mind. Starting to lose my tools too. There's my brush right there. All right. So here we go. All right. And it's like the thing about varnishing. There's a lot of ways to do it. Well, there will claim to be a lot of ways to do it. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, one of the biggest things you got to do before you varnish a second coat or third coat or fourth coat, depending on how many you're going to do, usually 3 will suffice if water based, is do a light sanding between coats. It really helps knock down like those like weird little like whoopties and whatnot. It really does help with that. And like I like to do like 220 to 400. This one I did 400, but depending on the kind of wood, I will use only 220, and 220 actually will suffice. It just depends, and for me it depends on like if there's a lot of like rough spots, and when you apply a liquid to wood, especially certain ones, oak is actually one of the worst. Is when you apply it to it, even if it's like sanded down to a really fine grit, you can you can still awaken the demons with any kind of stain or even varnish. And when it dries, it'll come into the little fibers and it'll pull them up on you. And when it pulls them up on you, like you'll actually feel it when it's done, even sometimes before it's done. And that will actually create like basically aesthetically unappealing finish. And not only aesthetically unappealing, but it's one of them things where you can like feel the abrasion. And the abrasion to me, like the juice ain't worth the squeeze, I guess you could say. That is a way of putting it. But that is something worth keeping in mind when you do the finishing work. And finishing work, like that's what makes like everything, that's the magic, is the finish. And like I used to always ask my dad when he was varnishing, why would he do it like at such a long, slow tenure, or not tenure, but like long, slow speed? And he would say, it'll get bubbles in it, and I didn't know what he meant by that. And then he tried explaining to me, and it just didn't make sense to me because I was just a young kid and I didn't have the capacity to understand it at the time. But then when I started doing stick making, I started to understand what he was saying just from practice alone and experience. And a very accomplished knife maker I know. He's actually a American Bladesmith Society Master Smith. I won't say his name, but he's a very, very well respected young one. He's a very young one. His whole mantra is get out there and try it. You have no idea what you can learn by just trying it. You can learn a lot from books, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, experience will teach you more than you could ever imagine. And when it came down to what my dad was trying to teach me, it was actually experience that pulled through and basically put into reality what he was trying to teach me for all those years that I couldn't grasp. And how it came about was actually with walking sticks. And it came about because walking sticks are, the way I make them at least, is I make them with bark on. There's a whole, we'll say, subset of stick makers that take the bark off their stick. I don't do that. It's just not my vibe. It just depends on what your style is. Like everything, there's like disciplines. And that's one of the disciplines where I like the bark look, so I keep it on. And bark will keep the natural, pretty much everything. Like the little parts of shoots that were starting to come out, little suckers and stuff like that. And those little suckers, it's kind of crazy, but for whatever reason that I can't explain, because I don't know much about woodworking or why things work the way they do, but with varnish, when you take your brush and you go too fast over a spot, and I'll show you, like, here's a stick I have right here. This will be a fair example, right? This little bump, hang on, right here, like that doesn't seem, it seems like innocuous, but this little bit of a bump right here, if I go over it too quickly with the brush, I don't know why, but when I go over it with my varnish, it'll actually, it could leave air bubbles under there. And it seems kind of silly, like, okay, air bubbles, what a big deal is that? Well, when you have like a million of them, or we'll say like 1,000, whatever it might be, it actually looks really unattractive and it will dry that way. And that's the part that's most problematic, is you don't want it to dry that way. And actually, I see I missed a spot on this stick right here, so I'm going to throw some varnish on this right now. This is actually a stick I gotta do some work on anyway, so it's okay. But yeah, this, you have to go over it at a slow, steady speed. And whenever you hit a fork in the road, a bump in the road, it'll cause air bubbles. And those little air bubbles will be the bane of your existence. When it dries, it really does look, it just looks juvenile, I guess you could put it. And it's not even so much just speed, it's also speed and pressure. And what I've learned is, with pressure, is you just kind of want to let gravity do its job. Don't like push down on it, like not like you're painting like a house or something. Just kind of let it drag. Okay, so that, I'll let that sit right there. Okay, let's get that final drag up there. Get those, okay, that'll be good. All right, and now this looks like pretty legit actually. So we'll do this. Oh, I gotta go rinse my brush off. Damn it. Thought I would have had it more prepared. I'm sorry, guys. So I gotta step away, rinse my brush off, and then get working on the other one. So I shall return and see you guys in a minute. Let's take this somewhere else and let it sit and dry. Okay. All right, so I am back. Let me put my brush out to dry. Let me get, where's the big battle spoon? There it is behind me. All right, I shouldn't even call it the big one. This is actually the smaller of the two, even though it's the first one I ever made. Okay, so I have not been paying attention to comments. I apologize to anyone that had anything to say. All right, so cut up there. Then, no, Thompson says there. Okay, let's see. Man, it's pretty wild how some of these things just show their face in ways you don't actually expect. All right, so where's my high grit sandpaper? All right, 400 grit. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right. When I'm doing stuff, what I'm getting ready to do, because I would like to put another coat of stain on here before I go to bed tonight. And when I do it this way, I normally do it in like thicker pieces like this. I don't normally like to go in like really thin pieces. I don't have a good reason why, other than it's quicker, easier, and I can like cup it in my hand like this, and that makes it actually easier for me to like go around things. So that's just the way I'm gonna roll tonight, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And I don't need to get like too specific on things. It's just very lightly. You don't normally have to like sand between stained coats, actually, to be honest. Very seldom do. But this is one of them times where I do need to do it. And it's just really knocking down like those high fibers kind of thing. And that's the only reason I'm really out here doing it. But the fun thing about sanding is, like, let me see if I can get it. So I got like this going around right here, and you can see like a little bit of like the whiteness on there. And what that really does is it like knocks down, it's really just knocking down like the edges. It's taking off the stain that's already there. But what it does is it makes it look pretty dang cool, to be completely honest. And it gives it that like aged look. Like there's always that like person that wants to look like they came out of like a factory, like 1 out of 10,000. And you know what? God bless those that are into that. I'm cool with that. I have no judgment against those because everybody has different tastes. And that's not my style. I do like to see when it's handmade. Like I said, everyone's got their own style. And this, every stick has its own way. Like this stick has a knot right here that I cannot get that to take any stain, and it's not going to. That knot is just filled with sap, resin, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just gonna do some light sanding, and that is it. I'm gonna hit it with my microfiber, and then I'm gonna hit it with some stain, and then I'll be heading to bed before too long. And normally I would not do this, like I said, but I actually was feeling like a bit more abrasion than I expected, truthfully. And when I feel that kind of abrasion, I'm just like, it's not ideal, but hey, it is what it is. And like I said, I hit it with my microfiber. And it's not a tacky cloth like some people use, but it is a microfiber. Microfibers are pretty good for taking off like sawdust and whatnot. Like I can actually feel the dust like of what I sanded up, which is, even though it was with 400 grit, it's much softer than it was. Alright, and then I'm going to go over it with one coat of Wellington Brown. That's the color. Wellington Brown. It's a really nice color. I like it, at least. And it's one of the closer colors I could get to walnut. The color the girl wanted was very close to walnut. This is about as close as I'm going to get. So far she approves, so that's pretty cool. It's always great when you're partway through something and the person that you're making it for is into it. Alright. And like every so many inches, or every 1.5 feet, I guess you could say it's something this long, I hit it with my microfiber. You can't see too well, but you can see like some discoloration, and that actually is like that's all the dust I'm actually cleaning up from this staff end of the stick, or battle spoon, whatever you want to call it. And if you need to use another sheet of another we'll say strip, by all means do it. This is starting to get to that point. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. But you can hear how it's hitting some high points. And those high points are the ones that make the most noise. When it makes noise like that, that means you're actually hitting that more, we'll say, aesthetically unappealing. Or at least physically unappealing, because you can feel where the fibers are starting to stand up on end. Very close, very close. I'm hitting all the dragon skin portion of the Shasugi bun I did. And Shasugi bun is actually a Japanese method of blackening wood. And I mean, a lot of cultures had it, but hey, in the world we live in, we know the Japanese version. So, here we are. This is a stick. You can't really tell much, but this is where it is, all sanded. We're going to see it's all like modeled on that end. Hit that with some stain. And hopefully it'll look a lot, well, it actually looks pretty nice. It looks better than it looks on camera. I will say that. Let me get my gloves. Need to get a rag. when it comes down to doing stuff like this, I actually use 7mm nitrile. I like 5mm, but 7mm is all I have right now. But actually, for wood stain, I do stick with 7mm. It seems like 5mm is just, I don't know, not resistant enough to chemicals as 7mm is, or at least stain, I will say. Because wood stain, that can get through a lot of different kinds of gloves. And that it's not fun when you gotta go places and your hands are all like different colors from stain. And I have some stain that's like a blood red color. That'd make for a very interesting doctor appointment. So I'm gonna mix up my stain and then say stir it up. Hey, everybody who just joined, by the way, I'm Rachel. I'm out of Detroit, Michigan. Give me a like and a follow. I'm getting ready to do some staining on a battle spoon. If you guys are wondering what a battle spoon is, this is it right here. This is a battle spoon. It's about 5 feet tall. Well, it's a little over 5 feet tall. And it is like a battle spoon staff. So I'm going to be staining this. And for that time before I get to staining, you're just going to have to hopefully appreciate my humor, my wit, my wisdom. Oh, here we go. I'm looking for my stick to open it. And I don't even know what this tool is. If you guys know what this tool is, let me know in the comments. I actually do not know what this is called. I inherited it from my grandfather-in-law who passed away. So if you guys know what this is, let me know. But if you don't, hey, give me a like anyway. You guys are here to hang out. It's Sunday night. We're having fun. At least I am. I hope you guys are too. And I actually take no qualms against people having a good time laughing at me because, hey, if you can't do it yourself, who can? And at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, if you don't know why people are laughing at you, you are not in tune with yourself. It helps to know what people say about you, and if you are surprised ever in your life by what anybody says about you, you're not in tune with yourself. You should know, you should have a good idea, but you should have enough wherewithal to understand what people are saying about you and why, and you should know before they even tell you. At least that's my take on life. When people are surprised by those that say hurtful things, I think you just might have missed some things in life, missed some marks. Alright, so John Doe on YouTube says, good to see you again, sir. Hope you are having a great day. I don't recall you being in my chat before, but hello, John Doe. But if I were to die, they would call me a Jane Doe. Alright. That's the weirdest thing about YouTube, is actually I can't smoke right now because I'm in my basement. But when I was out in the workspace, I could have my cigars out there. And when I would go on and I'd light up, because I love smoking cigars while I go on my lives and work on things, it's just how I roll. It's nothing new in the world. It's as old as humans, 200,000 years old, smoking tobacco. But these YouTube bots would come on here and lose their ever-loving minds about having a cigar. It's a very strange thing, I always thought. And it was just like, you guys, at the end of the day, you don't actually care about the person you're telling to not smoke. You'll say you do, but you actually don't. At the end of the day, you just want to be able to tell someone what to do. And all I could think is, I was that kid when I was younger. And I feel sorry for all of you that are that way, because I was not a happy kid. And I only did it because I was miserable. So I have a lot of empathy for the bots out there that get upset and they think they care about people, but they don't. They really don't. They care about themselves. They care about the emotions they feel when they see someone smoking a cigar, but they don't actually care about the person. That makes some people feel very uncomfortable when you say stuff like that. Uncomfortable truths, if you will. But hey, say lovey. Life is tough. Alright. So, let's turn it a little bit this way. Alright, here we go. Hey, you guys want to a little live in the chat? Where are you guys at tonight? I'm Rachel. I'm out of Detroit. I might have already said that. You might have already heard me say it, but I'll say it again. If you can, give me a like and a follow. I go live often, usually a couple days a week. I used to go live like 2 times a day every day, but it just didn't make sense anymore, so I kind of held up. So now I'm starting to figure out what days are best for me to go live. And that's where I'm sitting at right now. And this was actually a very impromptu live. I had some things to do tonight, so I was like, since I gotta do this, why not? And that's where we are at right now. Okay, so that's that part of the stain. We'll let that sit right there. Now I gotta get paper towels. Oh, I got it on my arm. Of course I did. So, we'll get a paper towel. And let's turn this. You guys can, well, not see it super well, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. I got 3 people on YouTube. I got 4 people on TikTok. I just wonder, where's everybody from? Every now and again, someone will tell me where they're from. Not that long ago, I had some people, they were from Nigeria. It was a lot of fun talking to them because I grew up playing soccer. And Nigerians are some of the best soccer players I've ever seen in my life, and they're extremely fast. And it was fun because you could tell these guys were like really serious players. Like, you could tell when someone's a really serious soccer player. They have a specific build to them. It's like how a boxer has a specific build, soccer players do too, and these guys had that build, and they were cocky because they knew they were good, and it was a lot of fun talking to them about that. It's just cool to talk to people about something you have years and years of experience with, and you have this chance to just kind of like chide each other a little bit, and they were having a lot of fun with it, and so was I. It was a good time, to say the least. All right. Now I've had some Argentinians, I've had Brazilians. Let's see over here, and then Melly Rose 94 over on YouTube says that, and then Kevin England on YouTube says Idaho. Idaho? Hey, Idaho. Not me. I ain't no. Right. The color stain I'm actually using today is called Wellington Brown. I keep wanting to call it Beef Wellington, which it's... I don't know if that's where it gets its color from, because Beef Wellington has got such a deep color when it's finished. And it actually kind of is in that color ratio, that tone, that tinge, whatever you want to call it. But it is in that hue. I don't know. I had a really cool art teacher, and she was really into us knowing like the differences. The only downside was it was, God, almost 30 years ago for me. So I've unfortunately forgotten a lot of that stuff. But she was so cool. She was like everything you expect to be out of an art teacher, like in a Hollywood movie. She was such a doll. I miss her so much. She actually passed away from cancer, but she was such a gem of a woman. She just loved to make kids really use their mind and really adventure. And she was so forgiving for those that were not artistically competent. And it was just so sweet how she'd still be like so impressed by the fact that they tried. She just had so much respect for someone who showed effort, just applied themselves, even if they were not very artistic. It just made her like heart swirl. It was just what a I don't know, you get them teachers growing up. I hope you guys had some like that, because there are teachers I had when I was a kid that even to this day, even today, I was thinking about just how much I appreciate them and how much I learned from them. I never realized how far what they taught me in my younger years, I mean like second, third grade, how far some of what they taught me could actually go. And it's kind of wild. I actually had a teacher named Mrs. Weinlander. She's long passed away now, unfortunately, but she was amazing, truly amazing. And she was fluent in Dutch and also English. And it was super cool because she could write in Dutch as well. And her handwriting was really beautiful. And this is back in the days when they still had like chalkboards. And she would like take the like it was like 5 pieces of chalk, I think, in this thing. It was like blue on top, pink on bottom, or whatever. And she'd take it, she'd draw it across the board, and it was how we like learned how to write cursive and all that stuff. And then she would if we were not listening very well or not understanding what she was saying, she would erase everything, put the lines back on again, and then write it all in Dutch. And like I said, her handwriting was just like really, really beautiful script. And yeah, that like stuff like that, like, and she was so exciting to learn from. And she was a big fan of reading the Little House on the Prairie books. If you guys ever even heard of those, I don't know. They're really good books. There's a TV show on them when, actually before I was even born in the 70s. And but she used to read to us every day, 15 minutes after lunch. And she was so cool because she would actually do like the voices and stuff like that and try and bring the story alive for us. And yeah, Mrs. Winelander, she was such an absolutely beautiful soul. And I am so fortunate to have had a teacher so cool, to be completely honest. She really cared about us, and she taught us so much. And I appreciate so much of what she taught us in life. Alright. Oh, I missed a spot. So there we go. I gotta get this. Let's see. There we go. Alright. So let's get this going over here. Ayo1, hello. Been a while. Hello. Over on TikTok. Alright, I missed this whole side, which is to be expected. Man, I didn't think I missed it that bad, but I did. Holy cow, did I. Alright, I might actually have to hit this 1 or 2 more times, because it really did not take. Actually, I think I missed this both times. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, you live, you learn. Everybody's gonna make mistakes when they do things, especially for the first time. I've stained wood, of course, when I was younger, but this is a situation where I've not had a ton of experience, not like something like this. Like when I was staining things, it was not, I don't know, it was being a kid, having fun, being silly. There was no seriousness behind it. But this is like something where I'm actually trying to like learn how to do something. So when you see a mistake, you just kind of go, ah, bummer. But either way, this is one of them times where it is what it is. I just gotta let it dry a little bit, or rest, or soak in, however you want to view it. And then I have to wipe it off, and probably get the other side as well. And then I don't have my watch on. Oh god, I'm supposed to have my watch on. Like, I'm a big fan of carrying or wearing a wristwatch, and I don't have it on right now. And I only wear analog. I don't do smartwatches of any kind. Like, actually, I don't do smart devices. Like, I don't even have a smart TV. Like, I don't even want one. The Samsung TV I've had for, I think, 20 years. And when I got it, my mom got it for me. It was like top of the line, apparently. I don't know. All I know is it was really exciting. It was really fun. And it still has an amazing picture to this day. And it's super cool to find that out. And it's super cool to see that it has a nice picture still. And I can hook my PlayStation 3 up to it. PS3. I do not have anything more than that. And that's what I rock with. Oh, and I have a Roku. And I do watch YouTube and Netflix on my PlayStation. I don't remember what I was talking about for a second. Alright. Okay. Oh, should have done that. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's alright. And every little thing is gonna be alright. And yep, I'm seeing a couple other spots where I gotta touch it up. But like I said, it ain't no thing. It just is what it is. Alright. I actually kind of like that it's got some streaks in there, to be completely honest. To some, it's aesthetically unappealing, and I get it. But at the same time, I do like how it looks a little bit streaky. Not like purposely, but it's unavoidable due to the nature of the wood. Some woods are just very difficult to get to work. And this is one of them, at least for my skill set. It's difficult. And that's just, at the end of the day, that's just the way life is. No one comes out of anything an expert. I know they want to act like they do, and they don't make mistakes, but they're liars. And yes, I'm going to use big, harsh, mean words like liar. I know that's a scary word these days, but hey, it is what it is. People don't show mistakes like they used to. And if they ever did, I don't know, actually, to be honest. But to me, there's merit in showing your mistakes. At least to me. I find a lot more respect in those that show mistakes. When you only succeed, I get a little sketched out by your abilities. like how many outtakes and whatnot, because even the masters mess up. Uh, Craftspeople that I look up to greatly absolutely mess up. It happens. It's unfortunate, but it is the reality. We're just humans. And, you know, they could be coming down with a cold. It could be a rough day. They could have been stressed out for a week. Everybody makes mistakes. And when you make mistakes and you own up to it, at least for me and some others of my mindset, we tend to respect that a great deal. So never be afraid to make mistakes. And those that want to shame you for it, think about it this way: the ones that are shaming you for making mistakes, they've not made enough mistakes to come back from. And those that are making mistakes and owning up to it, those are the ones that are working towards mastery, like truthfully. And you know, it's what is the saying? The master has made more mistakes than the apprentice ever could imagine. It's something along those lines, but it's true, and there's truly no denying it. You ask someone who's been at a craft for a long time, you know, how many mistakes have you made? And actually, one of my friends who is a well-respected craftsperson in his craft, and I said, you know, how many mistakes have you made? He goes, my mistakes are measured in piles. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I have made so many mistakes you could build piles with my mistakes. And he has made some very beautiful swords. He's actually, he's been the guest of honor in other countries from dignitaries to show the swords that he's made because they were so impressed with his work. And this is a guy that is unashamed to show his craft, his flaws. He's also an instructor. And the great thing about being an instructor is students, humans, fellow humans, we find all sorts of ways to screw things up. And anything he's ever said about students is they teach you how to become a better craftsperson. And that's a really cool lesson to be learned as far as I'm concerned. To me, it teaches us, that mindset teaches us to be unafraid to dream. At least that's how I view it. There's a movie called Dead Poets Society. It's got an actor named Robin Williams. I don't even know if you guys ever heard of him, you young whippersnappers out there. But it's called Dead Poets Society. And it's a really, really good movie. And the whole thing about it is, it was a society and a prep school, which actually is based off a true story, sort of. A place called, that's actually how I close my stain, is with a lump of wood. It's better than a hammer in my opinion. But so Dead Poet Society is actually based off a true story-ish, a place called Detroit Country Day, just outside of Detroit, Michigan. It's a very high-end prep school, which is where Robin Williams went to school, high school. And he had a teacher that he actually based his character off of in that movie. And the whole idea of the movie is they're poets. They write poetry. And the thing about poetry that I've never understood but I can respect is poetry can teach your mind how to free itself. You know, it's like musicians and like when they write music, it's a very freeing feeling. It can be very emotional, but it still is letting out, you know, aspects of our human self. And the Dead Poets Society was all about that. And they had like really cool cloaks and stuff, and they would meet in like secret spots to read poetry and the things that they wrote about each other's lives. And it's a really good movie. If you guys have never seen it, I do strongly suggest. I think it came out in like 1993. But yeah, it's all about daring to dream big, even if it's just with your words. And being a writer is truly an amazing thing. It's like we can all work well. We don't all have hands, but many of us can work with our hands and make things. And then there are those that can, you know, do amazing things. They can build things, like architects design them, and then like the engineers can erect them. And then we have those that can put their buildings, their architectural designs of their mind into words. And that's where we have poets and writers and storytellers. And at the end of the day, the arts have a place in our life. They truly do. So does hydration, by the way. If you guys haven't had any water, have some. It's a good time to hydrate. I try to drink close to a gallon of water a day. I don't always get there. Actually, sometimes I get there, but not super often. But anyway, it's been 45 minutes, and I don't have I'm looking for my wristwatch again, and it is midnight. So, you guys, have a fantastic Sunday evening. Actually, going on Monday. It's actually Monday morning. So, have a good rest of your week, you guys. And that'll be it. Настроя. Cheers. And there's that one. Peace.